New IFBB Professional is number 372 here at Firestone.
Beautiful people, what's going on? I've had a lot of questions and I wrote some of them down, kind of give me direction here. We're 1 week post turning pro. Kind of just go over where my mental state was during USA's, kind of where it's at now. What's next? I get a lot of, what's next as far as next show. And then, people have been asking me, oh, you got a ton of sponsorships or anything now. So I just kind of figured I'd put it all in one video. Just kind of ramble on. It's about 1 in the afternoon, getting in my fish, rice, and avocado meal pre-gym. I'll probably go train legs here in about an hour, hour and a half. Nothing crazy on that. I've just been easing back into the gym. I've already gotten body work done. Stretching mobility is getting built out so that I can start doing that every day. I've already talked to Ben immediately post-show. He's kind of put a game plan together. I've been on plan since getting off stage with, regards to onesies, twosies here and there on Sunday, Monday. But since then, I've been full-blown back on plan, cardio, food, everything. And yeah, so basically, how did it feel turning pro? This is sort of like weird for me because while turning pro is everything I wanted, taking second place was not. So while I'm extremely excited to call myself a professional bodybuilder now, and I have the pro card, of course I'm gonna put it on the wall in a shadow box and whatnot. I truly do not compete to fucking lose, okay? So I thought I won the class. Judges thought differently. That's not for me to argue, right? So when they called my name, I was a little confused at first for the second place, but ultimately, we turned pro. So it's been mixed feelings about it. But now it's, what I do with my pro card, and ultimately how good of a pro can I become. That's solely up to me. So while I'm ecstatic that I got the card, I was really wanting an overall. Just that's the type of competitor I am. But we take the wins where we get them, even though it's not technically a win, and we move forward. And so how do I feel now post-show? I'm just back in routine, back in rhythm. Nothing's really changed in my life outside of, having the pro card. I got back home, right back into coaching. I got, guys in prep right now, 4 guys in prep right now. Onboarded a couple new clients. So coaching, picking up a little bit again now that I have more time to give to the clients. My brand, our brand, Havana and I's brand, Earned. We're about to release Drop 002, and we have a really good feeling about this. We think it's going to blow the first drop out of the water. We're starting to get the store stocked, more items coming in. So I've been talking to manufacturers back and forth for, since I got home, basically. So we're getting the brand, up and running more efficiently, more effectively, hoping to get a little more exposure, especially with this next drop coming. And then, right back into school. I'm in my master's program for human behavioral psychology. That didn't stop while I was on prep, but I did email my professor. He kind of let me slow down a little bit. So I'm finishing up one of my classes this week. And then, just continue with my master's program. I should be graduated with my master's degree early next year, which is exciting. And then the biggest thing, right, coming back home, making sure I move right back into husband and father mode. Havana is, I couldn't have done it without her. This just being straightforward, especially, having Ember and, prepping with her from 5 months to 11 months old, however long it was. and her being able to sometimes be a single parent, even in a dual parent household. I mean, it made my prep so fucking easy. And so yeah, so now it's time to give back to her, give back to Ember, spend the time with them that's needed to ultimately say thank you. And I mean, Havana's in it for the long haul, right? Her dream are my dreams. So she's still, pushing me to be a better bodybuilder as well. But being able to just slow down a little bit, watch movies on the couch. We haven't gone on a date night or anything yet, so eventually that'll come. Open up a little more food options when we get to that point. But just being more present for Ember specifically, and being able to take over more responsibility from Havana and give her, a lot more free time and space to go do things she wants to do, take care of everything she's got going on in her life as well. So that's ultimately the important thing coming home, and then making sure, our businesses, coaching, brand, and then my master's program are all caught up in a good spot to continue pressing forward with those. And I've got a couple questions. Everybody wants to know, oh, you turned pro, man. Like, you got any sponsorships? Guys, not a single fucking one. No one's reached out to me. That's not how it works, man. My social media presence isn't the greatest. I've lacked on that. I take full responsibility. I turned pro without a sponsorship. I paid all my own fucking, travel expenses, show expenses, outside of, honestly, shout out Wings of Strength. They did, for winning that overall, they did cover my USA expense for one of my classes. So well, my camera died in the middle of recording the first part. So here we are making our pre-gym for legs. It's 2 rice cakes, 10 grams of honey, 30 grams of raisins. These motherfucking Raw RTDs, I love it. Shout out Raw. I use all their supplements. So if they do want a new athlete, I'm pretty, so they need a new face. But to get back to what I was saying, yeah, huge shout out to Wings of Strength for covering one of my classes at USA's. As like I was mentioning, a lot of us at the amateur level pay our own ways to get to shows. I was in Vegas for 6 days, making sure, all the food, all my supplements, whatever needs to get done. I don't have sponsorships for anything. So a huge shout out to Wings of Strength for, at least stepping up to the plate for the amateurs and allowing us to compete and covering that expense. But how I'm feeling post-show, mentally, I'm hungry, and not hungry in the sense of food-wise. I'm talking hungry in the sense of I need a fucking back on my physique so I can be good. If you've saw my check-in today on Instagram, I'm gonna start doing that weekly. Every Saturday morning, you're gonna get a full-blown check-in with photos, supplement stack. If you guys want, I can add my food on there, my cardio, kind of like my training, and just give you a weekly look at what the physique is looking like. My feedback was, once again, my back does not match the front. So that's, as always, the main goal. This improvement phase. But yeah, like, I'm hungry to get back on stage. I love competing. And now I get to officially say that I do it for a living, right? Because as a pro, you're gonna make money if you're good when you win shows. So that's a really cool feeling. But as far as like, I guess being a pro and like the mental aspect, I've had to have a couple conversations with one really close friend, and then someone who I met through social media actually. Gabe, let me look up his Instagram real quick, because Some of you guys will know him. I think a lot of people should look into this avenue. Yeah, so Gabriel Rocha. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. He just started his own mental performance consulting LLC. So congratulations to him. But me and him have been DMing back and forth for a while now. You know, I have a degree in sports psychology, my bachelor's. He's got a full blown, you know, MS in sport and performance psychology. I had a conversation with him as well about sort of what it feels like to me having that title. Because, you know, I haven't done anything. All I did was win my pro card. I say all I did, but I won the pro card. But a part of me feels like I don't belong yet because I haven't done anything on a pro stage. I haven't proven myself as a professional. And that even goes for how I've treated off seasons as an amateur, right? So that's first thing that needs to change. But he mentioned that having that title does not isn't necessarily just from placing high enough at a pro qualifier. I've been competing for 10 years. I've been putting into work for 10 years, you know, deployments in the military. For, you know, 2 years I was out at sea putting into work, trying to become a professional bodybuilder. Finally got out, was able to chase my dreams. I've been close. Second place, third place, fifth place finish, all at pro qualifiers. And I finally, you know, hit that summit. And so he said it's the accumulation of the 10 years I've been putting into the sport, the 10 years I've been grinding to try to turn professional, that makes me a pro. It isn't the card itself. The card itself just gives you basically, I guess technically it makes me a pro, but it's the build up to winning that card that ultimately makes you a professional. So I've had some really good conversations, like I said, with him, with a couple of my best friends, and they you know, they all kind of mimic the same sentiment in that, like, dude, I've watched you do this for so fucking long that, you know, we knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when, and it finally happened. So I've been trying to come to terms mentally with feeling like I belong. But it honestly does feel good to be back on the bottom of the totem pole. You know, I'm a small fish in a big pond again. Watching the Tampa Pro this weekend, I'd get fucking dusted if I stepped on that stage. And I'm talking about dusted from, you know, the guys that are taking third call outs. So just, it gives me motivation. I think I have a phenomenal front and side profile. I'm just extremely lacking in the back. Muscularity, density, can add a little bit of width even from the back still. And then, you know, if we're picking my physique apart, I need more lats from the front. I need more arm size. Of course, more chest and shoulder density. And then a little more adductor to just truly complete that front shot. I will say my side chest is my best shot in my opinion. But overall, you know, continue to improve that look. So yeah, so that's where my head is in terms of like winning the pro card, how I feel now, day to day. It's not really, I don't think it's fully sunken in yet. Like I said, I don't feel like I've done anything, so maybe it'll sink in a day or two, maybe it'll sink in a week or two, maybe it's going to take me getting on stage again for it to fully sink in. But this is the best post-show, rebound, reverse, whatever you want to call it, that I've ever done. And I'm talking, you know, only up 5 pounds from the stage. On top of my meals, my cardio, I'm still super fucking lean, you know. My goal is to actually maintain glute lines as long as possible. We'll see how long that happens, right? We're, you know, eventually going to push food up and kind of really get after it. But until then, you know, I want to stay in a position where we're primed and ready to be a professional. Like going back to sponsorships, Yeah, none, man. Like, I think also, being from Yuma, we're not gonna really get a lot of people that want to work with a professional bodybuilder here. It's really small town vibes, of course. Multiple gyms, a couple supplement shops, but in terms of like their ability to sponsor, it's probably not going to happen. I thought about reaching out to like some health and wellness centers in the area, and seeing maybe if I can get an athlete code for a sponsorship there. Maybe get my blood work taken care of. And then make it easier for my clients to get local blood work done. That would be ideal. Outside of that, I guess if anybody's got any tips or tricks on how to reach out to companies for sponsorships, it'd be cool. But like I said, I don't feel like I've done anything. My social media isn't the greatest. I just happen to be a pretty face that if you needed something sold, I can get it sold. And then the biggest question I've been getting is, what is next? Well, for the next 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even pushing into the 8-week range, just get healthy, get life back to normal, get hormones back to normal, really center myself back home, get into a rhythm, get into a routine. We're going to look at getting bloods in about 4 weeks. As you know, post-show, they're probably, not probably, they're destroyed. So, all my health supplements are in play. And 4 weeks, we'll look at getting bloods pulled, see where we're sitting. If we need more time to get healthy, it is what it is, right? But we'll take a look then. And then I really want to get gyno surgery done and get those glands removed just to get it out of the way before we start a push. I've got a little bit of buildup, nothing crazy, but it's enough for me to notice. And if I can notice it, possibility that the judges notice it, and I need everything to be primed and perfect for my pro debut. And then as far as pro debut goes, I am not competing the rest of the year, right? I need a back. I don't want to get on stage and get destroyed. I hate losing, and I want to be competitive in a pro lineup. I don't want to take this card and be like, I tried. No, I want to fucking do. I've got a dream of stepping on the Olympia stage as a pro bodybuilder, pro classic physique competitor. And I understand that off seasons are required. So ideally we take October, November, December, push hard, see what we can accomplish. And then end of December, early January, game plan 2026. If we need more time, which we probably will, most likely need more time to grow, we just continue to push, get regular blood work done, make sure we're healthy, make sure digestion is staying in a good spot, really push food, really push training, really get a fuck after it. And, eventually, it would be cool to step on stage next year, because I love competing, so I'm already itching to get on that stage. But ultimately, Ben and I have spoken. He does not want me to get on stage unless I am in a position to be competitive, for one, and two, I'm pushing weight cap. So measuring 6 1/4, I believe my weight cap is 233 as a pro, and I weighed in at 218.5 for USA's. So I could have been probably 3-4 pounds leaner. Which, let's just say an even 215, that gives me 18 to 20 pounds of tissue. I'm talking stage tissue to put on, and that is a significant amount to add, not only add, but if I were to get on stage now, put me at a disadvantage from the guys sucking down into weight caps. That's the nature of the beast in classic physique as pros. Most of these guys are sucking down into the weight cap, which means they got the tissue. They got the structure, they got the density, and if I'm going to match that, I need to get after it for however long it takes, so that I can get to the Olympia stage. That's all of our dream, is to make it to that stage, the Arnold stage, win pro shows, actually make a living doing this. So yeah, that's kind of what's next. Just get into the habit of being, spot on for this off season. getting my training in a good place, my mental in a good place, which it is. My mental's outside of like, oh, I lost because I only took second, and like feeling like I belong. My mental's really good. My stress levels have come down with prep kind of, ending. They were never high, but they're a lot lower now, right? My cardio's lower. My food's come up a little bit. And so, stress will drop off at that point. And ultimately, just enjoy the process, become, the bodybuilder I always thought I was capable of becoming, and taking it serious this go around as an actual job that pays the bills. And we're gonna put out more YouTube content. We're gonna start with this video. We're gonna get some training videos, full days of eating. If you guys want to see what I do on a day-to-day basis, my hobbies, fucking video game playing. I fucked up and opened some One Piece 25th anniversary packs, and the fucking artwork was phenomenal. So I collect, cards. So yeah, whatever you guys want to see, let us know in the comments. We'll try to get everything, man. I like, this is the part I enjoy, is like being able to interact with everybody else. All the messages I got, all the fucking support I got was wild to me. Couple pros was the coolest thing. Very, very fucking cool. Yeah, man, it's like nothing's changed, but everything's changed all at once. So I'm super, super excited to get after it. Super excited to get, this blood work done, get into a push phase, get this gyno surgery taken care of, and share the entire journey with you guys. So hopefully you guys want to come along for the ride. It's been a wild 10 years of turning pro, and let's see how long it takes to get to the Olympia stage.